The following terrifying footage was captured by a family security camera inside their living room. In the weeks leading up to this night, lights would flicker in rooms no one had entered. The baby monitor occasionally picked up static and what sounded like faint whispering. Toys would activate on their own in the middle of the night, and once, the mother found one of the dolls placed upright on the couch when she clearly remembered laying it down. The tension in the home had been building. One evening, the mother sat in the living room with her kids, watching TV while the girls played quietly with their dolls. Everything seemed normal until this happened.
Oh my gosh! Guys, this way, this way.
First, the TV suddenly shuts off, then the crib moves. But that's not all that happened. If you look to the left side of the screen, there's a cross mounted on the wall that turns upside down. Inverted crosses are often interpreted as mockery, not necessarily anti-religious, but a sign of defiance. Some believe it represents an entity challenging spiritual authority within the home. And then there's one more detail many viewers didn't notice at first. On the bookshelf sits a Ouija board, and that is something most people are now linking to all the activities happening in this house. Ouija boards are often described by paranormal researchers as portals of invitation. If used, even casually, even once, some believe it can act as a doorway left slightly open. So can we trace all these activities back to the Ouija board, or is this something else? Until more updates are shared, this unsettling night and everything leading up to it remains a mystery. This next footage was captured by an office CCTV camera. Ever since the team lost one of their colleagues unexpectedly, the atmosphere at work hasn't felt the same. His desk remained untouched for weeks. Some employees reported faint knocking sounds near his old cubicle, and others mentioned the office phone on his desk lighting up briefly even after the line had been disconnected. Still, most people chose to brush it off as grief playing tricks on them. Then one night, a man stayed late to finish a project. He was the only one left in the building when this happened. Watch closely. The first thing you'll notice is the knocking, as if someone was trying to get his attention. Then the office goes quiet for a moment before the phone rings. According to him, when he answered, there was no one on the line, no static, no breathing, nothing. At the time, he assumed it was a network glitch or a missed dial, so he sat back down to continue working. He felt someone standing too close behind him, breathing down his neck. Then the chair to his right began to move. It wasn't until he reviewed the footage later that he noticed the faint figure standing beside him before moving toward the chair. But that's not all that happened that night. There was no one else in the office, and no explanation for the things he experienced, so we can't blame him for running. Now, many believe that locations tied to unfinished business or sudden death are sometimes associated with what's called intelligent hauntings, where the presence appears aware and interactive. The knocking could be attention-seeking, the phone ringing, a form of communication, and the chair spinning, physical manipulation. Also, the activity happened near the desk of the late colleague, so could it be their lost co-worker, lingering, perhaps unaware he's gone? I'll leave you to decide. Now, this next footage was recorded in a hotel lobby by a security camera, and according to staff, it finally gave context to months of strange incidents they couldn't explain. Have a look.
And you see there's nobody there. The door's closed. I went too far, Joe.
You think so?
Yeah. This thing was flying.
The door sounds like it opens, as if someone just walked in, but no one is visible on camera. Seconds later, the baggage cart begins to move. Still, there's no one there. For employees, this wasn't a new thing. Night shift workers have reported hearing footsteps cross the lobby long after check-in hours ended. The front desk phone has rung with no caller ID, only silence on the other end. Motion sensors in the hallway sometimes trigger when no guest is present. And one time, a cleaner claimed she saw a reflection in the glass doors behind her, but when she turned around, the room was empty. Hotels are transitional spaces. People come and go constantly, and places like airports, hospitals, hotels are believed to accumulate residual energy because of the constant emotional turnover: joy, stress, grief, celebration, and exhaustion. Some speculate that what's happening in this hotel could be more than residual energy. It could be a restless spirit, bound to the place after a traumatic event, but I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. This next video dates back to 2023 and was captured by a family's home security camera. That evening, the wife was sitting alone in the living room, scrolling through her phone when this happened. First, something falls off the table, but before she can even process it, a cabinet door slowly opens on its own. According to her, this isn't new. For years, she's heard doors clicking at night, objects slightly out of place in the morning, and she's felt watched in certain corners of the house, especially in that living room. Her husband has always leaned toward logic, house settling, loose hinges, air pressure, and sometimes says she has an overactive imagination. But after this clip, she's done debating, and she's ready to move out. But there are uncertainties. What if it's not the house? What if it's an object they brought into the house? An antique, a mirror, or a piece of inherited furniture? If they move without identifying the source, they could unknowingly bring the issue with them. She's been advised to stay a little longer and investigate. Look into the home's history, rule out physical explanations, and document patterns. Now, if you were in her situation, would you stay and gather answers? Or would you trust your instincts and leave, even if you don't yet know what you're running from? In this next video, a strange figure was caught on camera inside a man's workplace. For months, he and a few co-workers had been saying the place felt off and would joke about it being haunted. But the day they saw this footage, the joking stopped. Watch closely.
A shadowy figure can be seen entering and exiting a room at a very slow pace. Now, this could easily be explained away by the darkness of the hallway. It's too dark to see what it actually is, which may just be a person. But after increasing the brightness of the footage, it seems like this might have actually been something else. But I'll leave it to you to decide if that's the case.
In the dark hallway, a shadowy figure can be seen slowly entering a room, then exiting at the same unnatural pace. At first glance, it's easy to dismiss. Offices at night can create heavy contrast and strange silhouettes, and it could simply be a person walking past the camera in the dark. But here's what made people pause. When the brightness of the footage was increased, the outline becomes clearer, and it doesn't resemble a normal human walk. And if it were a co-worker, there should be badge logs, door access records, or additional camera angles capturing them entering or leaving that room. From a paranormal perspective, shadow figures are one of the most commonly reported phenomena in office buildings after hours. Believers describe them as human-shaped masses lacking detail, often seen moving between rooms or along hallways, particularly in places tied to stress, late nights, and emotional energy. So what are we looking at? A trick of lighting in a dark hallway? Or proof that something has been walking those halls long after closing time? You decide. Now, in this next clip, security staffs monitoring CCTV at an office inside Castlefield House on Liverpool Road in Manchester witnessed something they say they'll never forget. This is the actual footage those guards saw as they flipped from camera to camera that night. Watch. Long after employees had clocked out and the building was supposedly empty, the office came alive. Chairs began moving across the floor. Doors slammed shut with force. Door handles shook violently, as if someone was desperately trying to get in or out, and papers scattered. It looked like a chaotic night shift had clocked in, except no one was there. What makes this more unsettling is the pattern. Workers had been arriving early for weeks to find the office in disarray, chairs overturned, desks disturbed, items misplaced. At first, management may have suspected cleaning crews, pranks, or even break-ins, but no alarms were triggered, no forced entry, and according to reports, the activity only lasted a few minutes each night before stopping abruptly, almost like a replay. Castlefield House itself sits in an area of Manchester, rich with industrial past, warehouses, railways, and centuries of human activity. For those who believe in environmental imprint theory, that history matters. So is this a rare but explainable combination of airflow, pressure systems, and structural quirks? An elaborate hoax or genuine poltergeists? You decide. This footage dates back to 2014 and was captured by an office CCTV camera after hours. Watch closely. A dark figure enters through the door and crawls toward the desk, then disappears from view. The immediate assumption was simple: a rat. But here's where it becomes strange. When viewers slowed the footage down, the figure didn't appear solid. There were no visible features, no tail, no defined head shape. Instead, it looked like a moving shadow. Some paranormal experts suggest these entities are either intelligent spirits, residual negative energy, or interdimensional presences slipping into our reality. Whatever it was, it left no trace. Only the camera caught it, making the office staff question whether the after-hours disturbances they've experienced were far more than coincidence. This next footage captures something unsettling that happened while a family was asleep in their bedroom. Watch closely. In the video, the little girl appears to shift suddenly, like something pulled her. According to her parents, some minutes later she started crying, and it took hours before she finally calmed down. Children do move in their sleep, and night terrors can cause sudden jerks, but this looked different. The sudden pull, combined with the prolonged distress afterward, could suggest an external presence interacting with the child. In many haunted house cases, children are believed to be more sensitive to spiritual activity, sometimes targeted or simply noticed by entities that remain invisible to adults. But for now, the exact nature of what was in that bedroom remains unknown, leaving the family, and anyone who watches this footage wondering, was this a fleeting, harmless encounter or something far darker? The following video is about Nate, who still hasn't been able to figure out what exactly he's dealing with, or what approach to use to make it stop. Over time, the activity in his house hasn't faded or stabilized. It's escalated. He's started waking up with unexplained scratches on his body, hearing footsteps when no one else is home, and noticing areas of the house where his dog refuses to go. But this particular morning was different. Watch closely.
Alright guys, I'm still kind of shaking a little bit here. So, I was upstairs. It's just me here, me and the dog. Wife left. I was upstairs, brushing my teeth. And from below me, like where my feet were, which would be the kitchen, I was hearing what sounded like knocks, which would be on the kitchen ceiling. Then it stopped. Once it stopped, I figured, okay, no big deal. So I came down. I was getting ready to cut some oranges. Came over to get the one I always use, the knife I always use to cut fruit and vegetables and stuff. And it's not there. So I figured, oh, it must be dirty. No. Kind of stood for a minute, and then like, what the f on here? Like, in this house. This is a different level. This is not right. This is not. This is not okay. This is not okay. It's in there pretty. So I'm guessing that was the sound I was hearing from below my feet. Because the bathroom is right on the other side of this, so that's how my morning started. Just wanted some oranges.
Objects found in positions like this, especially heavy or sharp objects, are often associated with aggressive poltergeist activity, where force and intent seem to be involved. This isn't something falling, tipping, or sliding. Something had to exert pressure to get it there. And when Nate says, "This is not okay," there's something else, a faint voice responding. It's difficult to make out, but undeniably there, almost as if whatever caused this is aware it's been noticed. Another morning, Nate is home alone when he notices something peeking out from his basement. At first, he tries to come up with logical reasons: shadows, lighting, his eyes adjusting, but the sense of being watched didn't go away. Eventually, he grabbed his camera, and here's what he caught.
Guys, check it out. Something was peeking. Right out. From the basement. I wanted to see if we can catch it. The end of it. But it was like right by the bed. What the? This has been the third morning in a row. Like clockwork. I might have to look back, but it might be around the same times as well. I don't understand. There's nothing. And then I was hearing steps coming down those stairs, but there's nothing. Guys. I don't know, guys. Maybe we just... What was that?
For many viewers, the most unsettling part isn't even the shape peeking from the basement, it's the whispering. Some people believe they can hear words being formed, while others say it sounds like incoherent murmuring. What makes this harder to dismiss is Nate's claim that this hasn't been a one-time occurrence. He says it's been happening almost every morning, always from the same spot, as if something is watching and waiting. After several people weighed in, many pointed out a recurring detail in Nate's updates. His house is almost always dark, and some believe that prolonged darkness, combined with emotional stress and fear, can intensify paranormal activity, creating an environment where whatever is present feels undisturbed, comfortable, or even encouraged. Then Nate shared another update, one that only made the situation more mysterious. Listen carefully.
I want to share a little update on the activity and something that happened last night. I'm only putting this out there to maybe get some advice or answers, or if anybody has experienced something like this. So I was in a dream. I was dreaming that I was in my house, and something had come and woken me up and told me to follow it downstairs. It needed to show me something. So I followed it downstairs, but the whole time my eyes couldn't adjust to what I was following. It was just a figure. Couldn't tell if it was male or female. It was shorter than me. I'm 6 feet. It was shorter than me. That's all I can make out. It was like a, not a mist, but it was like not a full formed shape, if that makes any sense. But it's a dream, so I figured, anyways, I follow it downstairs into the middle of the dining room, and it just lifts up and points its arm towards the basement. I didn't know what it was trying to tell me, but then instantly there was this loud wake up, but it didn't come from the figure. I immediately woke up, but when I woke up, I was standing in my dining room. I have never, ever had an issue of sleepwalking. Never in my life, at least that I know of, or remember, or have ever been told that I sleepwalk. So, I don't know if it was a dream. I don't know if it was a lucid dream. I don't know if I was sleepwalking. But has anybody ever experienced something like this? Because I am at a loss what it means. If there's a reason behind it.
He believes that whatever woke him may have been a warning, possibly his spirit guides, stopping him from going into the basement. From his perspective, the whispers, the peeking, and the activity all seem like attempts to lure him closer to whatever is down there. But others see it completely differently. Some believe the voice that woke him wasn't protecting him at all, but guiding him, that whatever is happening in the basement holds the answers to what he's been experiencing, and whatever else is in the house doesn't want him finding out, that the whispers, distractions, and fear are meant to keep him away. So now the question is, was Nate being warned, or was he being invited? And if something does want him in that basement, the real question is why? I'd love to hear your thoughts. In this next video, Kyle found an abandoned house and decided to do a quick walkthrough, filming the inside to show his partner later. He went in expecting the usual things explorers look for: scattered belongings, traces of past lives, maybe old furniture frozen in time, but what he captured turned out to be something very different. Have a look. Just in case you missed it, within the first few seconds of the video, there are several details that immediately stand out. A black cat is seen inside the abandoned house, which is strange on its own, considering how rarely animals stay inside unstable, empty structures for long. In medieval European folklore, black cats were believed to be familiars, supernatural beings or animal-shaped entities said to assist in dark practices. They weren't viewed as ordinary animals, but as extensions of something else, something unseen. In other cultures, black cats were considered omens of death. One 16th century Italian superstition even claimed that if a black cat lay on a sick person's bed, death would soon follow. Because of these beliefs, the presence of a black cat in an already badly abandoned, decaying structure has long been associated with places thought to be spiritually active. Almost immediately after he saw the black cat, a door was shaking violently, even though no one else was inside the building. There's no visible draft, no footsteps, no movement nearby that would explain it. On top of that, faint orbs drift through the frame, and an odd sound can be heard in the background. But one of the most unsettling details is something Kyle himself didn't even notice at the time. What's unsettling is how layered the activity feels. The cat, the shaking door, the orbs, and the sound. None of them happen in isolation, and together they create the sense that Kyle may not have been as alone as he thought. But it's not just his experiences at abandoned places that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. For context, Kyle is someone who frequently explores abandoned places, and his partner happens to collect strange dolls. So when he shared what things look like at home, many viewers weren't surprised, but they were still disturbed. Watch this.
Just got home from work. This needs to stop. I need help, please. Going to explore it later.
When she got home, the door was rattling like someone was trying to get out, but the moment she entered, there's no one there, and the doll by the window was no longer there. No one entered the room, no one touched it, it was simply gone. Some viewers believe the activity from the abandoned house may have followed him home, not necessarily attached to him, but drawn to familiar objects, especially dolls, which are often believed to act as conduits or focal points for paranormal energy. Others think it's something that was already present in their home, and that Kyle's exploration may have stirred it up. According to Kyle and his partner, they don't feel threatened by whatever is happening. They describe it as more of an annoyance than anything else. Objects moving, small disturbances, things being misplaced and reappearing. Nothing violent or aggressive, but that's where many people begin to worry, because paranormal activity rarely stays the same forever. What starts as harmless or playful behavior can escalate over time, especially if it's being acknowledged, recorded, or unintentionally encouraged. The fact that they don't feel threatened now doesn't necessarily mean it will always stay that way. So is this something that's simply coexisting with them, or is it still figuring out how far it can go? I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. Now in this next clip, Nick has been documenting the strange activity that's been following him, not just at home, but at work. At his store, Nick installed security cameras everywhere, and according to him, there are very few nights where nothing strange happens. Chairs shift on their own, objects fall over, no matter how carefully they're placed. Items that were stable moments earlier suddenly end up on the floor. And there have even been times when he's returned to the store only to find windows cracked, despite no signs of forced entry. And when he gets home, it doesn't stop. Watch this.
Is there anyone here that can give me a sign? And something just fell off the counter, right in front of my face. Holy shit! Okay, is there anyone here? Yay, that was fun. Love this room. Just again, this is... Oh my god, my camera won't even focus. Hello? Can you use the dream catch? Okay, my camera's not even focusing, this is so weird. Can you use the dream catcher again to try to communicate with me, please? Okay. I think it made a sound out here again. Hello?
In this video, Nick asks for a sign, and almost immediately, objects begin falling. While some viewers see this as confirmation of paranormal activity, others warn that asking for signs isn't always a good idea. On one hand, some believe that spirits responding to direct questions may indicate intelligence or awareness, possibly a presence trying to communicate. Especially when the response is immediate, it can feel like validation that someone or something is listening. But on the other hand, many people argue that inviting responses, even unintentionally, can escalate activity. Asking for signs is often seen as giving permission, opening a door, rather than simply observing what's already there. And once something realizes it's being acknowledged, the activity can increase in both frequency and intensity. Another detail viewers couldn't ignore is the presence of several floating orbs throughout the footage. While skeptics argue these could be dust or insects reflecting light, others point out that the orbs appear at moments of heightened activity, drifting, changing direction, and lingering in ways that don't seem random. Because the activity follows Nick from place to place, many people believe Nick himself may be the focal point. Not the house, not the store, but him. Some say he could be unknowingly carrying something attached to him. Others take it a step further, suggesting the presence may be something darker, possibly even demonic, feeding off attention or fear. Nick, clearly unsettled, has been asking for advice on how to make it stop. Take a look at the security footage from his store. This footage only strengthened the theory that whatever is causing the disturbances at both locations is attached to Nick. The activity mirrors what happens at his home: objects moving without explanation, sudden shifts in the environment, and no visible cause. The consistency between both locations makes it harder to argue coincidence or environmental factors. If the house were haunted, the store wouldn't be affected. If the store were the problem, the activity wouldn't follow him home. That's what makes this case so unsettling. It suggests something mobile, something that isn't bound by walls or locations, something that goes where he goes. And until Nick shares more updates or finds a way to stop what's happening, this case remains a mystery. But what you think? Is Nick haunted, or is he being followed? Derek is exploring an abandoned house sitting alone on top of a hill, completely isolated from everything else around it. For reasons that aren't exactly clear, he chose to go inside by himself, recording as he moves through the decaying rooms and empty hallways. The place looks unstable, quiet in a way that makes every small sound feel louder than it should. Then he pauses, convinced he hears someone or something inside with him, a noise that doesn't sound like the building settling.
Hermaphrodite. Oh man, this is fun. Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something. Oh shit. Out. I'm out. Oh shit. Ate asshole right there. I literally ate shit coming down that hall.
Suddenly, a massive bang erupts from somewhere inside the house, loud enough to shake him out of any doubt. He immediately turns and sprints out of the building as fast as he possibly can, not stopping until he's outside and putting distance between himself and the structure. He only begins to calm down once he reaches his motorcycle, and without wasting another second, he starts it and rides away, leaving whatever made that noise behind in the house on the hill. In the following video, Jose is inside a reportedly haunted hospital at 6:40 in the morning, a time when the building should be completely still. As he records, distinctive movement sounds can be heard coming from deeper within the structure, not random creaks, but steady noises, like something shifting or walking. He stops to listen, and the sounds suddenly cut off, leaving a heavy silence in their place.
Shit don't matter.
He slowly pans his camera toward a corridor ahead, and a white wisp-like shape crosses from one side to the other, before a door at the end of the hallway slams shut with force. The moment is clear on camera, the movement too defined to brush off as dust or light, and there's no visible reason for the door to move. With no wind and no one else inside, it feels less like coincidence and more like a presence making itself known. Jose doesn't stay much longer after that, choosing to leave the hospital soon after capturing the footage. In this clip, a man named Diaz is recording from the window of his home in Mexico after hearing strange screams echoing through his neighborhood. The sounds are loud and drawn out, almost like an animal in distress, but there's something off about them, something that doesn't match any normal wildlife people are used to hearing. He scans the street and nearby areas with his camera, clearly confused, trying to locate the source.
Dios mío. Dios mío, santo. Mami, algo le está pasando al muchacho, gorda. ¿Escuchas? Vamos a ver. Oh, no.
Despite the volume of the screams, there's nothing visible outside. No animals running, no people, no movement at all. The neighborhood looks completely still, which only makes the noise feel more unnatural. Diaz keeps recording, unsure if what he's hearing has a normal explanation or if it's something far stranger, echoing through the night. Later on, Diaz is walking through the neighborhood at night, still unsettled by the screams, when he hears something even more disturbing coming from a particular house. This time, it sounds like a man in pain, his voice strained and emotional, echoing out into the street. Diaz moves closer, circling the house cautiously as the noise continues. There's shouting now, loud pounding sounds, and at one point what clearly sounds like glass shattering from inside.
Dios santo. Oh my God. Vecino. You okay? No. 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 Dios te bendiga. No. ¿Necesitas ayuda? ¿Necesitas ayuda? Dios te bendiga. Vengo en el nombre de Jesús. En el nombre de Jesús. Vengo en el nombre de Jesús. Dios te libre. Dios te guarde, vecino. Dios te guarde. Dios te guarde. Jesús de Nazaret. Jesús. Jesús.
He looks through a window and can see someone inside, visibly angry and distressed, moving erratically as if arguing with Diaz through the window, which indicates they know one another. The behavior feels intense and unnatural, leading some viewers to wonder if it could be some kind of possession rather than a normal argument. Diaz keeps speaking calmly from outside, trying to soothe the situation with his voice, repeatedly saying the name Jesus until the chaos inside seems to settle, leaving the house quiet once again. He later finds himself inside his own house for once, still recording with the tension from earlier events clearly weighing on him as the atmosphere feels heavy and silent. Out of nowhere, a firm knocking sound hits the door he is facing, loud enough to echo through the space and make him freeze in place. It happens again, deliberate and controlled, not like something falling or shifting naturally.
Gente, son las 2 de la mañana, me intentaron abrir la puerta, bueno, la tocaron primero y la intentaron como abrir. Luego pues yo me fui al cuarto de las niñas. A ver, ahí está otra vez. Vean, pero vean que no es nadie. Son las 2 de la mañana. Exactamente. Vean. No es nadie. Y ese güey que... Pinche gato feo, ya te había visto yo por aquí. La sangre de Cristo te reprenda. Mari, tráeme la sal. Tráeme la sal, Mari, tráeme la sal, corre.
Diaz quickly moves, circling through the house to check the front window to see if someone could have caused it. But outside there is nothing that makes sense. No people, no movement, no sign of anyone walking away. The only thing visible is a single cat sitting still and staring directly toward him through the window. It does not move, does not react, just watches in an unsettling way that feels too focused to be normal. After everything he has already experienced that night, even something ordinary like a cat feels wrong, leaving viewers questioning whether this is coincidence or if something unseen is continuing to follow him from place to place. In the most normal situation possible, Dave is in the bathroom when he suddenly hears a strange beeping sound coming from downstairs, specifically from the direction of his fridge. Confused and a little uneasy, he heads down the steps toward the basement to check it out, camera in hand. When he gets there, the fridge door is wide open for no clear reason, the beeping echoing in the quiet space as he films it, clearly unsure what he is looking at. He stays on the steps for a while, just watching, like he is waiting for something else to happen.
Right, I just started recording again. Because I'm sat on the toilet and I can hear something beeping downstairs, and the only thing that beeps like that is the fridge. Oh, like if it only beeps like that when the fridge door is open. I don't even want to look. Oh my. What the f... I'm just gonna sit here. Whoa, did that wire just move? No. Whoa, what the f... What the f... Did you see that? That fuck... Oh no. It's actually moving, man. It looks like a snake or some shit. What the f... Lampshades going as well. They're like moving towards it. Whoa! No! No! No!
After a few tense seconds, a wire sitting in a bowl on top of the fridge slowly begins to move, sliding upward and extending out of the bowl in a way that looks almost alive, hanging forward like a snake stretching towards something. At the same time, a nearby lampshade starts shifting in its direction, both objects moving toward each other unnaturally until items suddenly spill out from inside the fridge. There is no one else down there, nothing touching them, which makes the entire scene feel less like coincidence and more like something unseen is controlling the space around him. During a canine search of the Watts family home connected to an unpublished crime, officers were carefully moving through the house with their dogs, checking each room methodically while documenting everything on camera. The atmosphere already feels tense, not just because of the case, but because of how quiet and heavy the house seems, like the walls themselves are holding on to something. At one point, they focus on a specific room, guiding the dog inside while the camera keeps rolling. Nothing visibly out of place, just officers doing their job and calling out routine instructions to each other.
Here's a pair of her shorts.
Later, while reviewing the footage, something chilling is discovered. A voice can be heard clearly saying, "This is our home," even though none of the officers reacted at the time, and no one in the room remembers hearing it. The fact that it was only captured on the recording and went unnoticed in the moment makes it feel even more unsettling, as if whatever said it was not meant for them to hear directly. It adds a whole new layer of unease to an already disturbing investigation. But this isn't the only thing they heard that night. They continue the search by moving into the garage area, scanning for anything that could be connected to the case, their eyes passing over shelves, storage boxes, and tools, while the K9 unit sniffs along the ground. Nothing looks obviously disturbed, and the officers speak in low, routine tones, focused entirely on the task at hand, unaware that the camera may be catching more than just the investigation itself.
Yes, very organized, very clean.
During later review of the footage, another unsettling detail surfaces. A faint whisper can be heard, quiet but distinct, saying something told her, the words slipping into the audio without any clear source. Once again, none of the officers in the garage reacted in the moment, and no one recalls hearing a voice while they were inside. The fact that multiple unexplained voices are being picked up only through the recording begins to paint a disturbing pattern, making the house feel less like an empty crime scene and more like a place still occupied by something unseen. For many viewers, moments like this practically confirm the location's haunted reputation, especially when the people present never heard a thing at the time. Within the Jefferson Hotel, reports of paranormal activity have been piling up for years, but one incident in particular pushed things into genuinely unsettling territory. A guest staying in room 117 reportedly checked out in a panic after an encounter they said happened in the bathroom late at night. According to staff, the guest had been taking a bath when the room filled with steam, and words slowly began to appear on the mirror, as if written by an unseen hand. The message read, "You should leave." Thinking it was some kind of prank or condensation trick, they wiped the mirror clean. Moments later, as the steam built up again, a new message appeared, this time far more direct, telling them to get out. The guest immediately fled the room, leaving their belongings behind, and even losing the bathroom key in the process. Hotel staff later entered the room to investigate and document what had happened.
But we took some pictures. I'll show you the pictures real quick. These pictures were a little eerie. You can see right here is the get out. And we took a series of pictures. Well, in all these pictures, there's only 2 people with the exception of this one. See right there's a third face, and there should only be 2 because all the pictures only showed 2 people in there. So whoever this third face is, we don't know. It was kind of weird, but we did go in there this morning to try to fog it up again, and it didn't happen. So I'm not sure, how long the prank lasts. Or if it was even a prank.
They show the photographs taken that night, capturing the messages as they appeared on the fogged mirror. What stands out is how unnatural the writing looks, uneven, distorted, and nothing like handwriting formed by a finger. In one of the images, viewers later noticed something even more disturbing. Faintly visible in the reflection is what appears to be a third face, semi-transparent, and not belonging to anyone who was supposed to be in the room at the time. Staff attempted to recreate the conditions by fogging up the bathroom again, and once more, the same message appeared on the glass without anyone touching it. After that, room 117 was quietly taken out of rotation for a period of time, and the hotel has never offered a clear explanation for what was captured there. In the following video, Ragalzu was working a night shift when the building was completely empty, and after hearing strange noises echoing through the halls, he decided to start filming to protect himself more than anything else. The place was dark, quiet, and lit only by his phone and a small flashlight, which made every sound feel amplified.
Mira, ahí pasó. Dígame que lo vieron. Se lo vio clarito. Mira, ahí pasó. Mira. Se lo vio clarito. Y pasó por el medio del patio. ¿Qué les dije? Mira. Negrito para acá fue. Para ahí. ¿Ven? Pasó por ahí, agachadito, corriendo por aquí. Se enfocó, ¿eh? Está al frente de ustedes, gente. Todas las cosas siempre más, digamos, turbias y fuertes. Me movieron un muñeco, movieron una silla, me golpeaban la campana, hacían un montón de quilombo y ahora cierran la puerta. Y bueno, pero yo dije que antes de irme voy a limpiar el lugar, que ninguna entidad tiene que permanecer aquí, ninguna entidad tiene que seguir en este lugar, porque van a venir niños. Van a venir niños y no tienen que seguir aquí. Me atravesó otra vez. Dios mío, me dejó encerrado. Ahora sí me dejó encerrado. ¿Ahora lo hace con esta también? Es un colegio. Sí, mira. Mira, no. ¿Ves? Él la cerró. Es más, hace rato, pero sí estoy en Santiago, hace rato se vio literalmente un duende cruzar. O sea, la figura de un niño cruzando por detrás mío. Uy, escucha. Está golpeando. Ahí la abrió. Ok. Vine por acá. Me dejó de golpear. linda la noche en la escuela, ¿eh? Ah, ahí está volviendo la puerta. No tiene luz, pero habría que pasar un proceso para poder trascender y ¿A dónde Mautrix, Gamin, dónde dice que se verían cosas locas? En el hospital me trabajo toda la noche. Estuve el sábado en un hospital abandonado. Y también logré captar una entidad bastante oscura. Yo esta puerta la voy a cerrar ya mejor.
As he walks forward, the camera catches what looks like movement behind a closed door ahead of him, a dark, human-shaped object, passing across it for just a second, like someone walking by on the other side. Ragalzu immediately panics and runs straight toward the door, shining his flashlight through the glass, and then outside once he opens it. There's nothing there. No footsteps, no shadows, no place for anyone to hide. The area beyond the door is completely empty, and security later confirmed no one else was on site at the time. Whatever moved past that door was there only long enough to be seen, then vanished the moment he tried to confront it. A haunted foodie YouTuber was exploring an abandoned mental asylum, expecting nothing more than a quiet, eerie location for a casual exploration video. The building had been left to rot, with peeling paint, debris scattered across the floor, and long ward corridors filled with old hospital rooms. She films herself walking through one of the messiest sections, opening doors, and looking around while talking calmly to the camera. Her husband can be seen further down the corridor at one point, also looking around, making it clear they weren't alone in the building, but still very much alone in terms of other people.
I think this is the ward, actually. Oh my god, that's really, really new looking. Oh, it does smell like a hospital jar. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look. It does actually smell like a hospital. This seems a lot newer than the rest of the building. Whoa. Toilets in here. All the sinks are broken. Yet again, like I like to say in all of my abandoned. What's that? Whoa. They like pink tiles, don't they? What's in that room? There's another room in here. Shower. I don't like looking behind shower curtains. That just creeps me right out. The bathroom again there. That's pretty cool, that is. Smells like an hospital in this part, definitely.
As she pans the camera from a blank wall back toward the corridor, something unsettling happens without her noticing. At the far end of the hallway, a tall, dark figure is briefly visible standing near a doorway. Within a split second, it appears to react to the camera and slips behind the door, completely vanishing from view. The movement is quick but unmistakable when slowed down. She continues filming, unaware anything happened, and only realizes later when reviewing the footage. After spotting it, she shared the clip online, admitting that she had no explanation for who or what that figure could have been, especially since no one else was supposed to be anywhere near that part of the asylum. After watching this next clip, you'll definitely want a dash cam on your car. The footage comes from a vehicle driving along a highway, with the road ahead completely clear at first. It's late, visibility isn't great, and everything feels normal until something suddenly appears directly in the lane.
There it goes. Just record.
A small, transparent figure that looks disturbingly like a child is standing in the middle of the road. The driver slows down instinctively, clearly panicking, but there's nowhere to swerve in time. The car passes straight through where the figure is standing, yet there's no impact, no sound, nothing in the mirrors afterward. The road behind them is empty. When the footage is slowed down, the figure doesn't react at all. It doesn't move, flinch, or turn its head. It just stays there as the car goes through it. Many people who've seen the clip believe it's the ghost of a child tied to that stretch of highway, while others can't explain how something so clear left absolutely no trace. Either way, it's the kind of footage that makes night driving feel a lot less routine and more abnormal. A cemetery security guard captured this unsettling footage while on patrol late at night with a co-worker, both of them filming because of repeated reports in the area.
I've been recording the whole time. Yo, me and Eon seen this bitch walking through the cemetery. Blowing it, running through the cemetery and landed on a tombstone.
Yeah, she was blowing it. She landed on a tombstone. She was blowing it. Hey, what you doing, girl?
Yo, that shit is creepy as...
What the f***?
What happened?
What the f*** you doing?
Why she touching other people's graves?
Yo, she just bust her head on the other grave, though.
Did she?
She got on no shoes, bro.
What she just grabbed?
A flower. She just grabbed a flower. She got on no shoes.
Yo, Boogie, we watching a ghost. She... Yo, don't say nothing to her. Don't say nothing to her. I'm scared as shit. Cause what if she, nigga, she knows where you live, nigga? Live across the street from the cemetery.
I'll shoot that bitch. Shoot that bitch.
Nigga, this bitch is crazy.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yo, what the f...
Yo, I see. Yo, where the blunt at? Pass the blunt. Pass the blunt. I cannot. Nah. She was blowing it. Did you see how she tripped over that tombstone?
She landed on a tombstone.
On it, on her head. And she planned this. Yo!
There's no way in fuck she planned this, Boogie.
Yo!
She ain't answering nobody. She ain't look at us.
Yo, girl, the whole way!
Yo, girl, the whole way.
You scaring me! You really scaring me! You scaring the shit out of me! Yo! You scaring the shit out of me! Go home! Go home!
Yo, Boogie, she gonna come back and she gonna be sitting right in front of your house, nigga. And I'm gonna pop that bitch.
Her ass.
Yo, she ran through the cemetery and was walking.
Yo, I wish I still had that BB.
Yo, you gotta let her go. Maybe she's like hurting or something.
Why was she running that fast though?
But why she just stopped and take someone else? She took someone else's flower, nigga, from there.
Look, she's swinging it. She's having fun, B. Yo, I'm about to go karate kick this bitch.
Yo, this is the creepiest shit that I've ever seen in my life.
My nigga, yo, bitches had a picnic in there the other day.
A picnic, nigga. She has on all white and she's running and jumping on people's tombstones. Yo, you crazy bitch.
You the crazy bitch!
Nigga, she's jumping on people's tombstones.
What? Oh my God.
She's spinning this shit? Nah.
World star.
World star.
Where'd she go? Where's stop? Where'd she go? She disappeared. She disappeared.
In the distance, a young girl dressed entirely in white can be seen standing among the gravestones, her head tilted downward as if she's focused on something only she can see. The guards call out to her repeatedly, asking if she's lost or needs help, but she never responds, never even looks in their direction. Instead, she slowly walks between the graves, trailing her fingers across the tops of the headstones in a way that feels disturbingly deliberate. At one point, she bends down and takes a flower from a grave, holding it loosely before wandering further into the cemetery. The guards shout again, telling her to stop, but she ignores them completely and even takes another flower as if their presence means nothing to her. Then, without warning, she steps behind a large tombstone and vanishes. When the guards rush over to check after the footage ends, there's nobody there at all. No footsteps, no place she could have gone, just the cold silence of the cemetery. To this day, they have no explanation for who she was or where she disappeared to. Ricky is a well-known ghost hunter who's been investigating the same abandoned establishment for a long time, convinced that whatever is there hasn't left yet. In this clip, he's outside the building late at night, filming himself in a casual vlog style as he stands in silence. The area around him looks empty and quiet, with nothing but fencing and darkness behind him.
Hey!
As he continues talking, something strange happens in the background. Behind Ricky, beyond the fence, a tall, dark, black figure suddenly walks across the frame. It's not a shadow from him or the camera. It moves independently, passing through the background like a person calmly walking by. Ricky doesn't notice it at first, but viewers immediately point it out. A second later, he seems to sense something is wrong and spins around, spotting movement out of the corner of his eye. He breaks into a run toward the fence, shining his light and calling out, but when he reaches the exact spot where the figure was, there's nothing there at all. No person, no animal, no place for someone to hide. After reviewing the footage later, Ricky admits that this is one of the clearest things he's ever caught at that location, and it's only reinforced his belief that something is still roaming that property, watching him every time he visits. Someone named Tom was lying in bed late at night when he started hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen. The kind that are just loud enough to stop you from sleeping but not clear enough to explain. Uneasy, he grabbed his phone and began recording, aiming the camera toward the doorway that led out of his bedroom.
What the f...
For a while, nothing happens at all. The doorway stays dark and still, and the apartment feels empty, almost quiet enough to convince you it was all in his head. But then, slowly, something begins to appear. A circular black shape peeks out from the edge of the doorway, just enough to be noticeable, like a head cautiously leaning into view. It lingers there for a moment, completely silent, before slowly retreating back out of sight. The movement is deliberate, not fast or startled, almost like whatever it was knew it was being watched. Tom doesn't step closer or call out. He just keeps filming, breathing heavier as the doorway goes still again. Nothing else appears after that, but the way the shape emerged and hid makes the clip incredibly unsettling, leaving the impression that something was standing in his kitchen, watching him from the dark. A few days later, the activity hadn't stopped. In fact, it seemed bolder. Tom finds himself back in the exact same spot, standing this time, after hearing the familiar noises coming from the kitchen again. His voice sounds steadier, but there's tension in every word as he starts recording.
What the f? Who is out? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, what the f? Hello, who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the f? Please stop. Please stop. This is my house. Leave. Leave. This is my house. You're not allowed here. Leave. Oh my goodness.
As he slowly approaches the doorway, a loud clatter suddenly rings out from inside the kitchen, the unmistakable sound of something metallic hitting the floor, like cutlery being thrown from a counter. Almost immediately after, cabinet doors begin opening and slamming shut one after another, hard enough to echo through the apartment. Tom raises his voice now, telling whatever is in there to leave, to stop, to get out of his house. He sounds firm, almost authoritative, like he's trying to take control of the situation, but it doesn't work. The noises continue without hesitation, cabinets still moving as if his commands mean nothing at all. He backs away slightly, breathing faster, realizing that whatever was peeking at him days earlier wasn't intimidated. If anything, it sounded like it was responding by getting louder. Tom later said this was the moment he truly understood he wasn't alone in that apartment, and whatever was in his kitchen had no intention of leaving just because he asked. Just as they were about to leave the store for the night, Nick and his co-worker were standing near the entrance, debating whether they should just walk out and grab her keys from the back room later. The lights ahead of them were flickering non-stop, buzzing on and off in a way that felt way too deliberate to be electrical. You can hear the hesitation in both their voices as they start recording, knowing they've dealt with strange things here before.
Okay guys, we were literally just about to leave my store when shit just started flickering again. This is the second time it's happened. My car's over there, and
I'm shaking right now.
okay, and her keys are in the back.
We need to go. We need to go get my keys.
And the light turned on.
I don't want to go.
Okay, well, I'm gonna literally record this whole thing just so you guys can see what happened. I'm literally so scared. Okay, okay, something. The bathroom light's on too.
Bro, why are my keys on the floor? They were not there. Like, I deadass put them on the desk. Like, oh my god.
This is literally insane.
As they slowly walk toward the back, something on the front counter suddenly slides off and hits the floor, startling both of them. They freeze in place for a moment, unsure if they should keep going, but the woman advances because she needs her keys from the kitchen. They push forward even though neither of them wants to. When they finally reach the kitchen doorway, they realize the situation has only gotten worse. Random objects are scattered across the floor, like something had been tossing things around when nobody was in there. Nothing is moving now, the lights aren't flickering back here, and no one else is inside the store. But the aftermath is clear as day. Whatever was acting up wasn't finished until they came to see it. And Nick's expression says it all. This store has something in it, and it wasn't happy they tried to leave. In the direct continuation of their video, Nick and his co-worker are now sitting in the back room, huddled around the security monitors while trying to figure out what to do next. They're already nearly 50 minutes past the end of their shift, too scared to walk through the store again, but too nervous to stay inside any longer. As Nick walks around to show something they missed earlier, a thud happens right beside him off-screen, like something had just been thrown across the room. They both jump instantly, backing away from one another while in panic.
Okay guys, we've been sitting in the back for like 20 minutes now, and we're just watching the cameras and stuff is still flickering and going on, but nothing happened back here, and we need to go home, and this is so freaking terrifying.
We're 50 minutes past our shit because of this shit.
We closed at 10, so we need to like, it's so dark because all the light switches are over here.
Stop it, go.
Okay, this is what I mean. This room is over. This is.
Oh my god.
This is what we're dealing with.
Oh my god, yeah. What? Bro, Nick, did you on purpose? You fake this? No, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, Nick.
Stop! You're literally. Are you?
No, wait, no. Nah.
No. We literally looked away for like 2 seconds.
Eventually, they decide they can't stay in the building, so they head outside to wait for the manager. Standing by the front windows, they keep an eye on the dark store through the glass, filming just in case anything else happens. That's when the lights above the front counters begin to sway back and forth, slow but deliberate, as if something inside was pacing beneath them. Nobody's in the building now, the AC is off, and the doors are locked. Yet the fixtures keep swinging overhead like someone is still walking around in there. Nick's co-worker started saying she's done coming in for late shifts after the recording, and Nick doesn't even argue. After everything they just watched happen, it's pretty clear the store isn't empty at all. A few days later, Nick is back on shift, this time during the daytime when the store should feel a lot less eerie. But the moment he starts recording, it becomes obvious that whatever's been happening hasn't stopped at all.
Okay, we're gonna peace out for the night. Okay, we're gonna peace out for the night. This is, I can't even put the key in. This is what we deal with at Swirls and Twirls, and no one believes us because who would? Who really would? And the backlight's still on.
This place is fucking possessed by a demon, so I'm
No,
quitting.
the light's still on.
Like, which one?
I don't think we turned it off though, but now the machine lights are on. Good. This is great. This is great. Okay guys, I'm here alone. It's a few days later, and it's 6 o'clock. I'll show you the time. The lights are freaking flickering again. The music is being wacky. The speakers are in the ceiling. Like, this is literally insane. And now they stopped. And now they're like, this is what I mean. Nothing. Like, I don't know how to explain this. The switch is right here.
The overhead lights are flickering again, brightening and dimming in quick bursts even though the weather's calm, and the power in the rest of the building is perfectly steady. As he walks through the kitchen, you can hear the store's music cutting in and out, switching itself off for a few seconds before randomly coming back on at full volume, like someone is messing with the system behind the scenes. Nick keeps panning the camera around to show that he's alone up front. No customers and no co-workers near the switches or speakers. The atmosphere feels completely wrong for the middle of the day, almost like the store is trying to prove that time doesn't matter. Whatever made the late night shift so terrifying is still here, still active, and now it isn't even waiting for the dark. Nick seems very frightened a little near the end, and he later says he doesn't get paid enough for this. And honestly, after everything that's happened, he might be right. Here's the smooth, seamless continuation in your exact TS format, with the transitions flowing naturally into the previous clips. From the woman's perspective now, the video switches to her filming as she and Nick sit together in the back room, scrolling through the CCTV footage to make sense of everything. She explains how, earlier that night, one of the chairs in the front seating area randomly fell over, and the lights all across the store were flickering at the same time, almost like the whole building was reacting to something they couldn't see. They're both pointing at the monitor, talking quietly about which camera angle to check next, when suddenly, a strange noise echoes from somewhere outside the room. It's loud enough to cut their conversation short instantly. They freeze, stare at each other, and within a second, both get up and run out of the office in panic, leaving the camera pointed at the floor.
Hey, it's 11:29. Me and Nick were supposed to leave here at 11 o'clock, but weird shit is happening.
A chair fell. There's lights
Literally,
flickering on the machines.
there is lights flickering everywhere.
A chair fell.
It's freaking me out.
Holly, what the f is that? There's actual footsteps going on in the ceiling right now. And something just fell over here. Is anyone there?
I'm scared. Oh, stop! Stop! Oh my god! Stop!
The footage then cuts directly to the CCTV from earlier that night, showing the exact moment the chair fell. There's no one around it, nothing touching it, and the fall is so sudden it looks like it had been yanked. Right after that, the video switches to handheld footage again, now from the woman's phone, as she joyfully walks through the store. As she approaches the front counter, something crashes loudly to her right. She swings the camera over, and the cash register that had been sitting up on the counter is now on the floor, tipped over on its back like it was pushed hard. She gasps instantly. This entire chain of events makes it obvious that whatever is in the store isn't tied to the time of day, the number of people around, or whether anyone is watching. It shows itself whenever it wants to, and this time it was making sure both of them saw it. A man named Joseph had been dealing with strange noises coming from his bathroom for a few days, so he finally decided to set up a camera facing the bathroom door to see if he could catch anything on film. He explained that he'd leave it rolling for a few hours while he relaxed in bed, hoping the noises would happen again. Take a look.
So I've been hearing some strange noises coming from this bathroom. And so I'm going to set up this camera to record and see if we catch anything. I've never caught anything on camera before, so I'm hoping that this might be the first time, but kind of sounds like scratches.
For almost an hour, nothing unusual happens, just the quiet hum of the house and the faint reflection of the hallway lights on the bathroom mirror. But then, without any warning, as the man enters his room after getting a drink, a dark shadow suddenly enters the frame. It appears on the right side of the mirror, shaped unmistakably like a human figure peeking into the bathroom. It pauses for a brief moment, almost as if watching, then quickly pulls back out of view as if it realized it had been caught. Joseph wasn't in the bathroom, nobody else was in the house, and the angle of the camera makes it clear this wasn't a trick of the light. Something had approached that doorway, looked inside, and retreated. Whatever had been making those noises wasn't imaginary at all, and now he finally had proof it was watching him. In the follow-up clip, he explains that people kept asking for an update after the incident, so he decided to film again to show exactly what had been happening. He starts in the bathroom with the camera pointed around the small space, proving there is nothing hiding behind the door or in the shower, before he switches the light off, saying the spirit never seems to like it when the room is bright. He then walks out and sits down on the small couch across from the hallway, the house silent, except for his breathing as he keeps the camera aimed at the doorway where the shadow had appeared the night before. He tries to sound calm, almost joking, and jokingly says peekaboo toward the dark corridor.
Alright guys, so you wanted an update. So here is the shower. That's where the cat goes to the bathroom, so nobody's in there. Nobody's in the bathroom. Nothing's behind the door. All right, we're turning the light off because it doesn't like the light. Here's my fiance.
I don't want to be on camera.
Okay.
I don't think we should be engaging it.
It's fine. It hasn't done anything. It's not really being too, like, creepy or anything. It just does. So, we've been playing peekaboo. Peekaboo!
A second later, something steps fully into view. A tall shadow shaped unmistakably like a person moves into the doorway, perfectly outlined yet completely black, as if absorbing the light around it. He gasps and jerks back in the seat before it disappears when the clip ends. There is no sound of footsteps, no breathing, no retreating movement. Whatever was haunting him had finally shown itself clearly. In the third part of Joseph's saga, he starts the video by admitting he might have messed up by provoking whatever is in his home with the last peekaboo clip. He sounds nervous this time, the camera shaking slightly as he stands in the bedroom. He explains that ever since the shadow stepped into view, things in the bathroom have gotten noticeably worse, and he hasn't been able to sleep properly. Then, right as he's talking, the sounds begin.
Okay, guys. I think I fucked up a little bit. You hear that? What the f is that? Charlie, cat's right here. She doesn't seem to be worried about it.
A slow creaking echoes from inside the bathroom, the unmistakable sound of cabinet doors being tugged or pushed from the inside. Joseph seems very scared, and the noise continues in short bursts, like something is testing them. To prove nothing living could be responsible, he pans the camera down to show his cat sitting curled next to him on the bed, wide awake and staring toward the hallway. Joseph points out that the cat has been with him the entire time, and clearly isn't the one making the noise, and I should add that it's especially since it refuses to go anywhere near the bathroom now. The creaking grows louder for a moment, then stops abruptly, leaving the entire apartment silent again. Joseph knows that he definitely pissed the spirit off, and he's starting to think filming was a mistake. Whatever had revealed itself in the doorway last time now seemed to be actively moving things in the bathroom, and the tension in the air made it clear this haunting was far from over. In the final part of Joseph's saga, he decides he's had enough. The sleepless nights, the shadow figures, the noises from the bathroom, all of it had pushed him to the edge. And this time, he stands directly in the doorway, holding the camera out in front of him. His voice is shaky, but he tries to sound firm as he tells the spirit that it needs to leave, saying they are done with its bull and that it is no longer welcome in his home. He barely finishes the sentence when everything shifts for the worse.
All right. I appreciate all the well wishes. I haven't been getting great sleep lately. I don't know if it's because of this, but I'm going to take your advice. It's been slamming the doors again this morning. I'm just going to tell it to get the out of here. Okay? All right, this is it. You are not welcome here. You need to leave. We are done with your bullshit. We are not going to take it anymore, okay? You need to get the out. No, this is bullshit.
A deep, guttural growl erupts from inside the dark bathroom, low enough to rattle the doorframe, and before he can even process what he heard, the bathroom door slams shut with terrifying force right in front of him. Joseph jumps back, swearing under his breath, but still forces himself to grab the handle and push the door open again. Inside, the bathroom is completely empty. No movement, no noise, Nothing that could have caused the growl or the slam. The tension in his voice is obvious as he steps all the way in, panning around the room to prove there is no one hiding. The air feels heavier than before, and he admits on camera that he and his cat have been avoiding this room altogether. After this final encounter, Joseph says they're both seriously considering moving out. Whatever is in that bathroom made it clear it wasn't going anywhere, and now it wasn't afraid to show its anger. In the following video, a man was walking through a storage complex late at night when he noticed something strange reflecting off the side of a stack of boxes. At first, it looked like the shadow of a person standing completely still, but the moment he turned the corner to see who was there, the entire space ahead of him was empty. Take a look.
Quiero que chequen algo en esa tarima de ahí. Eso. Y chequen, estoy yo solo. No hay nadie aquí. Ni de este lado, ni para acá. Vean, nada. Puto almacén. Vacío está su pinche madre.
He slowly walks down the long, stretched aisle between the rows of storage units, sweeping his light left and right as he passes each gap. But there's nobody. The space is silent, the concrete floors untouched, and no weird sounds echo. The shadow he saw moments earlier should have belonged to someone standing right there, yet there's no sign of movement, no footsteps, and nowhere to hide. By the end of the clip, he's fully convinced he saw something that wasn't human, and he wasn't wrong. Later on, security footage from the facility was checked, and it confirmed that not a single person entered or exited during the time he filmed. Whatever cast that shadow wasn't supposed to be there, and it left no trace behind except the moment it revealed itself. Basements are the most likely place in somebody's house to be haunted, and for Taz, that idea has basically become a daily reality. Activity in his basement has picked up so much recently that he now films every single time he goes down there, just in case something happens. This time, he was carrying a load of laundry down the stairs, trying to act normal, even though he admits the place never feels empty.
A ghost lives in my basement. Activities have picked up, so I decided to record every time I go down there. This time I caught it on video.
He sets the laundry on the counter, the camera catching the whole room behind him while he starts sorting through clothes and loading them into the washing machine. Everything is quiet for a moment, just the sound of fabric rustling. until something in the background suddenly moves. A bright yellow object sitting on the wall shifts on its own in a very obvious way, like someone nudged it. Taz doesn't notice at first, still focused on the washer, but the object continues to wobble before collapsing entirely a few seconds later, falling off the shelf as if pushed. There's nobody else in the basement, no draft, nothing touching it. This wasn't a light object being blown over either. It was something heavy enough that it only ever moves when something interacts with it. For Taz, it's just more evidence that whatever is living in that basement hasn't calmed down at all and might actually be getting stronger. In a haunted housing complex, the Scottish Ghost Company returned to one of the strangest locations they've ever investigated, an abandoned multi-house property where they've had responses before. It's just the two of them, a man and a woman, walking slowly through the empty rooms with nothing but their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They remind viewers that nobody else is anywhere in the entire complex, and the silence around them feels impossibly heavy. Eventually, they step into a room they call one of the most active spots in the building and greet whatever spirit might still linger there. They ask if it can open the door for them, half expecting nothing to happen, but of course, something does.
Hi everybody, I know you can't see us very well, but we are here.
Hi!
Hi. We are alone in a building which, sorry, I'm just going to turn you around. Yeah, we are alone in this old
warehouse complex.
We have set up a room video. We've been live on Facebook and we've had quite good responses from a door moving on its own in here.
So the only other living person is the security guard, who is about 3 buildings away. So there's absolutely nobody except us in the whole area.
So we've heard so many loud bangs in here. So we're going to try and do it again. Hi Spirit, we're back again. Is that? Well, when we left this, it was open.
It was wide open.
Spirit, if you're still with us, I know I said I wasn't coming back. Could you?
I'm so impressed with what you were able to do.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. What was that?
Oh my god.
Okay, Spirit, thank you. Can you close it again, please? Close the door over, please. We're really impressed. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Well done. Now...
A moment later, the door begins to move, slowly and smoothly, swinging fully open without a single creak. Both of them stare with wide eyes, shocked, but keeping surprisingly calm as they thank the spirit. Then they ask if it can close the door again multiple times, but there's a brief pause before the door gently pulls itself shut, the same smooth movement as before. The whole interaction is clear, controlled, and impossible to explain, but at least the investigators and I got content. A team of paranormal agents were visiting a preserved heritage home that once caught fire decades ago. They had been invited to document any lingering activity, and on this particular night they decided to use a Ouija board, along with a few basic pieces of equipment to see if anything would respond. The room was calm at first, quiet except for the soft beeps of their devices checking for movement or EMF spikes. Take a look.
Stephen was a name that we had come to know throughout our time there that could potentially unravel some of the story that we had come to find out.
So we're trying to see if anybody's here.
Maybe somebody named Steven or...
Immediately the REM pod as soon as he said Steven.
And it hasn't gone off.
It hasn't gone off
in
even
hours.
during the live stream. It didn't go off at all. And solid. It did go off earlier that one time in the bathroom, but...
That's really weird.
What was that?
Yeah, you heard that too?
Yeah, it was a shh. I heard something behind me. Oh my god. Okay, let's say goodbye.
As soon as one of them mentioned the name Stephen, a former resident who lived there before the fire, the equipment lit up instantly, as if something was acknowledging the name. Shortly after, they heard something strange say, "Find me to them both," as if beckoning them to explore this place further. Both investigators froze, shocked by how clear and direct the message was. While they tried to process it, something else in the room started drawing their attention. On the far wall, an old decoration hanging from a hook began to gently sway back and forth, even though nobody was near it. The rest of the room remained still. No windows open, nothing that could have caused it. The timing made it feel like Stephen, or whatever answered to that name, was trying to guide them somewhere, or warn them of something he could not show himself. The agents quickly realized they were dealing with something intelligent, and this heritage home still held more secrets than anyone imagined. It started as one of those nights where the silence feels heavier than sleep, and this guy at Camp Shields in Okinawa, Japan, could tell something was off the moment he sat up in the dark feeling watched. He had just thrown his helmet toward the door where he swore the presence came from, and now he was talking into the empty room like he expected something to answer, almost pleading for the ghost to show it was real. It had already woken him up, so why not continue?
I didn't just see a hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're real. Island. Show me. Satan ass motherfucker. Show me. Prove to me that you're real. Do it. What, you mad? Show me. Swing some shit. Make them noises and shit that you did when you woke me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, bro.
He waits, hears knocking like the ghost is getting mad, and an orb crosses the screen. The moment that orb drifts by, his whole energy shifts because he knows he didn't imagine that knock, and he definitely didn't imagine something moving across the room. You can hear the nervous laugh behind his voice, but also that moment of regret when it hits him that maybe he pushed a little too hard. People always think they want proof until the lights go quiet again, and you're alone with whatever just answered you, and he suddenly seems very aware that asking for a sign might have invited something closer than he ever expected. It picked up right where he left off, the room still feeling tight and charged, like the air didn't reset after that orb passed, and he kept the camera pointed at the corner because he swore something was still moving in there. He tried to steady his breathing, but before he even got close to being calm, the cupboard behind him opened and slammed shut like something inside was answering with attitude.
Part 2.
Bruh. Hey! Hey, chill the f out. I'm tired of your shit. Hey! Cut that shit off. Shut the fuck up.
He turns, trying to get a good angle while filming as 2 knocks hit from inside the cupboard. He tells it to chill the fuck out. Then a harsh scraping sound erupts, followed by something falling to the floor. The sound sends him spinning back toward the camera, because that scrape was way too real and way too close for him to pretend it was nothing. And you can hear in his voice that it is no longer curiosity pushing him forward, but straight up panic holding him in place. There is this moment where he just freezes, staring at the cupboard like he is waiting to see if whatever is in there is going to come out. And you can tell he knows he crossed a line. He had asked for proof, and now it felt like something was trying to claw its way into the room just to give it to him. And that regret hit him harder than anything the ghost could throw. It was one of those late-night walkthroughs where the building feels older than its walls, and the Ogden Paranormal Investigations team had barely stepped into the Salt Lake City Clubhouse before realizing the place carried a kind of quiet that did not belong to an empty structure. They set a camera in one of the lower rooms, letting it run while they explored, and you can hear their footsteps echoing above like the spirits had already started listening. One of the investigators went out of frame and called out to whatever was on the top floor, asking it to come downstairs and join them, because he wanted to see if the place really lived up to its reputation.
Right after I ask the spirits on the first floor to join us downstairs, an anomaly moves from the top of the screen towards the basement staircase. Watch again with the image enhanced.
As he finishes asking, an orb shoots through the ceiling area on the camera feed and drops downstairs, like it heard the invitation. The second that orb comes through the roofline, nobody has to say anything because you can feel how fast the mood shifts from casual investigation to the realization that something actually responded. The investigator who called out suddenly sounds unsure about his own words, and the room feels heavier, like whatever moved through the floor did not come alone. Moments like that remind them that sometimes the spirits do not wait for permission. They take an invitation as a door opening. Upstairs, the camera had been running quietly, pointed down the dim hallway where the team hadn't walked yet, and the air up there already seemed thicker on the recording, like something was hovering just out of frame in the doorway. The investigators were still reacting to the orb dropping through the roof downstairs, completely unaware that the upstairs feed was catching something even stranger.
We had more potential evidence from night 1, but without the handheld footage, we could not verify its validity. However, that does not take away from an experience Jocelyn will not soon forget.
The empty hallway sits still for a few seconds before a soft but clear voice says hello near the camera. The moment that single word comes through, it cuts through the silence in a way that doesn't sound like an echo or a creak, or any of the usual building noises they're used to, and it feels more like a direct acknowledgement from whatever they had called down. It's the kind of greeting that doesn't feel friendly or hostile, just aware, like something wanted them to know it heard the invitation and was deciding whether to follow. And when the investigators later reviewed the footage and heard that hello, you could see the realization hit them that they weren't just exploring a haunted clubhouse, they were talking to something that was willing to answer back. In the following video, the man behind the camera keeps moving through what looks like a storage area, the kind of tight corridor where every box and shadow feels like it has weight. And you can tell he is already on edge as he scans each corner with the camera. He stops when he notices a door that should never be opened during the investigation, sitting cracked just enough to make the hallway feel wrong, and he slowly leans in to look behind it, even though the team is nowhere nearby.
La puerta se abre y se cierra sola.
Se está abriendo esa puerta. No hay nadie. Y por acá también se escucha ruido.
He finds the door opening a crack, so opens it and checks behind it just to see nothing. Because of this, he walks away and the door shuts by itself as a strange noise starts playing behind it, and he speed walks out of the hallway. The second that door slams, you can see his whole body tense, because that wasn't wind, and it definitely wasn't timing or coincidence. And the noise that follows sounds like something trying to push through the wall just to remind him he is not supposed to be there. His footsteps turn into a full speed walk that almost looks like he wants to run, but refuses to make noise, and every few seconds he glances back like he expects the door to open again. Moments like that show exactly why investigators always say curiosity is one thing, but when the building answers you on its own, that is when you learn how fast fear can move. It was late enough that the local markets should have felt peaceful, but every shutter was pulled down tight and the whole place looked abandoned, except for May cutting through the empty rows. She knew the place was closed and shouldn't have held any noise at all, which is why the first faint scream stopped her in her tracks, sounding like someone crying out in pain from deep inside the metal-covered stalls. She followed it slowly, each step making the sound grow sharper and more desperate, until it felt like it was right beside her, but no matter where she turned, there was never anyone there.
Imagínate andar por la central de abastos y oír esto.
The screaming and crying keep getting louder as she walks, yet she can't find the source even when it sounds feet away. By the time she reached the end of the walkway, the noise was so overwhelming it felt like it was coming from the walls, and she spun around expecting someone to stumble out, but the shutters were sealed tight like they hadn't moved in hours. That was the moment she realized she wasn't chasing a person at all, and the way the sound cut off instantly once she stopped filming, almost like it knew she understood, made the silence after feel even worse. May had walked straight into something trying to be heard, and the fact that it never showed itself only made it clearer that she had been listening to a ghost. It happened late in the evening when the house was already settling into that quiet that makes every shadow seem a little thicker, and Charlie kept tugging at his dad's sleeve, saying there was a scary boy standing across the room staring at him. His dad brushed it off at first, calling it pretend, but Charlie wasn't smiling or joking. He just kept insisting the boy was real and he didn't want to be near him. Eventually, the dad told him to show where this scary boy was, so Charlie nervously walked with him through the hall and stopped at a doorway, pointing inside with his hands shaking like he expected something to move.
What are you saying, Charlie? There's a scary boy where? What do you mean? What, are you doing pretend? Yeah, you're just playing pretend, aren't you? Do you want to show me? Show me then. Come on. You show me where he is.
This is actually fucking mad.
Where? Where? In there? In there? Okay, get ready, Charlie. No scary boy. No, there's nothing there, mate. Do you want me to go in? Look. There's absolutely nothing in here. You've got nothing to be scared about. I've absolutely shit myself. There's nothing to be scared about. There's nothing here. That's just the bathroom. Nothing there, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. That's just the shower. Never been more scared in my entire life. Oh. See, told you. Nothing there, mate. Perfect. Come on. Don't be silly.
The father opens the door and sees nothing, while Charlie refuses to step past the threshold. The moment the door swings open to an empty room, the dad turns back confused, but Charlie steps back like he's afraid something invisible is right in front of him, claiming that the scary boy is still there, even if his dad can't see him. That kind of fear doesn't come from pretending, and the way Charlie wouldn't even look into the room made the dad realize this wasn't just a kid's imagination. It was something he couldn't explain, and something Charlie clearly wished he hadn't noticed at all. It was supposed to be a quiet night in Braden's room, but the ceiling kept creaking with slow, heavy footsteps, even though nobody was home, and there shouldn't have been anything moving above him at all. He sat still for a second, trying to convince himself it was the house settling, but the steps were too steady, too human, so he grabbed his flashlight and started walking through the dark halls with that kind of nervous focus where every sound feels closer than it should.
Wow, it's really bad right now. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Okay, hold up. Why is the tree on there? Whatever that is coming from up here. Should I attempt to go in there?
Because that was coming, all that thumping, it was coming from like right in there, in that room.
What the?
He points his flashlight upstairs and hears his own exact voice say, "Come up for a sec." The way the voice coming down the stairs matched his tone perfectly meant he froze, because there was no way his own voice should be calling him from a place where nobody was standing. It wasn't an echo, and it wasn't a trick of the house. It sounded like something pretending to be him just to get his attention. He didn't step closer. He didn't even breathe for a moment, because when something upstairs can mimic you perfectly, the last thing you want to do is give it the chance to talk again. The following video was captured amidst a normal slow night at the sneaker shop, the kind where the worker is just sweeping the floor and straightening boxes while the CCTV quietly records every corner of the room. Nothing feels off until the air suddenly shifts a little, just enough to make him pause, and the camera catches him glancing toward the back, like he sensed something move. As he keeps cleaning, the door to the back of the shop slams shut on its own, even though nothing is near it. He jumps and stares because there's no draft, no co-workers, no reason for it to slam with that much force, and the CCTV angle shows the room behind it is completely empty. It's the kind of movement that looks deliberate, like something wanted to make itself noticed, and the way he slowly backs away from the doorway says everything. Even in a brightly lit shop, surrounded by sneakers and shelves, that door made it clear he wasn't alone at all. The same sneaker shop is open now, customers walking around and the place feeling completely normal, like nothing strange had ever happened there. And one of the workers is helping a guy try on a new pair he picked from the wall. They're chatting casually as the customer slips the sneakers on. Then he walks over toward the mirror to get a better look, while the worker follows a few steps behind, totally unaware that the cameras are still watching every corner and about to capture something crazy.
Yeah, I'm going, bro. Arrow, pretty cool. Just trying not to take it on myself. Hell no.
As the customer stands in front of the mirror, a single sneaker from the display wall drops to the floor on its own, with no one near it, causing both of them to panic and run. The moment that sneaker hits the ground, they both whip around because it didn't slide. It didn't wobble off. It fell straight down like something knocked it loose with intention. You can see the confusion turn into fear instantly, and the worker doesn't even try to explain it before bolting toward the front door with the customer right behind him. It feels like whatever slammed the back door before was still there, waiting for another chance to be noticed, and that single falling sneaker was enough to send them both running. The shop had only been open for 12 minutes when the man working started saying something was moving around in the attic, and the walls, like the whole building, was settling wrong, and the fact that the store next door was abandoned made every sound feel way more isolated than it should. He walked around the aisles with his camera, trying to prove he wasn't imagining it, and the second he passed the back corner, he heard a hard knock hit behind the wall, like something was following him from the other side.
Okay, we have literally been open for 12 minutes. There is so much stuff happening right now that I don't even understand it. So I'm going to show you. No one's on the cameras. There's stuff coming from the attic and in the walls again. And if you look it up, the store next to us doesn't exist. They went out of business. No one's here.
Hello? Hello? Did you hear the knock? Hello? Can you knock again? It's honestly a great day to be haunted. I'm just recording right from it. I don't know if the machines are so loud, but there's so much knocking coming from the attic. This is insane. Like literally. Okay. I'm gonna throw up. I'm not ready for this. It is too early for this. We're not even open. Hello? Is there a reason you're so active right now? My Jesus Christ! What the fuck is that? I can't fake that. Holy cow. Okay, wait. I'm gonna try to do one continuous video proving that nobody's up here. Oh my god. I have goosebumps. Wow, this ain't even a TikTok. Okay. I'm just... God. Okay, it literally just stopped. Okay, can't show the code. Something literally flew off the wall. Bro. Spirit, is there a reason you're so upset today? Oh my goodness, Jesus. I don't even know where to go. Okay. Holy, look at this. I'm a little actually scared right now because this is in the morning. We don't usually experience this much in the morning.
The knocks keep happening as he circles the store, most of them coming from the attic, and the place isn't even open yet, so there is no way it could be a prankster customer. He pulls down the attic ladder, and loud banging erupts above him before going silent. But right as he says it stopped, more knocks explode across the ceiling, and something is thrown off the wall. He shows the item on the floor through the CCTV feed. When the object hits the ground, he freezes, because that wasn't just noise, it was force, and the attic ladder hanging open behind him makes it feel like something could climb down at any second. He stands there breathing hard while staring into the dark above, and the silence that follows feels like the building is waiting for him to move so it can answer again. Ian, a ghost hunter in the Midwest, entered a decaying factory that locals claimed was haunted. The air was thick with dust and the faint smell of rust, and the silence made every creak echo like a warning. He set up his equipment, hoping to communicate with whatever lingered in the shadows, and immediately something responded.
Who are you? Whoa. Sir, why do you still haunt this tannery? But you said railing. Railing. Like fell over the railing. Are you saying that you died on these catwalks? And that you fell? Whoa. It sounded like that's what happened. Jesus. This is so crazy. Thank you, sir, for communicating with me. Is there anything you would like to say? Sounded like it said work. Are you going back to work? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to work then, if that's the case.
The voice was faint but clear, saying, "Lost my balance." Ian asked why it haunted the place, and the reply came simply, "Railing." Piecing it together, he assumed the spirit had fallen from the railing in life, and the ghost confirmed that's what happened. Feeling a mix of relief and awe, Ian thanked the spirit for sharing its story, then gave it one last chance to speak. The final words whispered back, "It's working," leaving Ian with the eerie sense that the factory still held secrets, and that even in death, some connections lingered longer than expected.